In this video, we're going to try to install Avid Media Composer on our Surface Pro 3. Okay, so before we get started, we have our Surface Pro 3 here. This is with an i5, 8GB of RAM, 256GB hard drive. We have our type cover attached. We have this docked in the dock, and we have this external monitor connected to our Mini DisplayPort out via HDMI via this little adapter here. Okay, I also have a mouse attached, just in case I want to use it instead of the touchpad here. So what do you say we go ahead and install this, and then we'll we'll check it out and just see if it works. We'll probably try to import some things, do a quick edit maybe, just to see if it works. So let's go ahead and install this. Just install the Avid Editor Suite, and we'll click install here. We'll just see what happens. This will probably take quite a while. So far, the installation has gone pretty smoothly, just like on a regular computer. It's been about maybe 3 or 4 minutes, so we'll go back to waiting. All right, so it looks like it installed. Now, of course, we have to reboot, so let's go ahead and do that now. Okay, so we have restarted. As you can see, it installed the iLok License Manager for us, Avid Media Composer, as well as the Avid Application Manager. So what do you say we go ahead and try to launch it here? And just double-click and see what happens. All right, now I actually have an authorization for this on my main computer, but we'll just go for a trial for now. It's fully featured, the trial is. All right, so my power scheme, that's a good idea. I should probably change that real quick. Okay, so we can adjust all that later on. Let's go ahead and continue through here and see what happens. Now, it'll be pretty cool if we can actually get this running on a Surface Pro 3. That would be pretty cool. Now, obviously, oh, here we go. QuickTime is not installed on the system. Actually, it is installed. I'm not quite sure why it's not seeing it there, but it actually is installed. I might need to get a different version. So let's see what happens here. Now, like I was saying, it'd be pretty cool to actually be able to edit on a Surface tablet. Now, obviously, we have an i5 processor in here, 256GB hard drive. We got 8GB of RAM, and the hard drive is SSD, so we might be able to do some editing. Now, obviously, where we're going to fail would be the video card. We're not running a Quattro here, but I'm interested to see once we get this open if we're able to do things like AMA link and maybe just try some simple editing. So here we go. All right, well that's pretty cool. It's come up. So what do you say? Let's try new projects to see what happens. We'll just call it new project. Okay. It's kind of weird looking at this little screen. That's why I had this screen set up here so you all can see it a little bit better. Everything on this screen is just mirrored from our Surface here. So right, it's kind of hard already, accessing these things. Let's try touch. Yeah, that works. That's kind of cool. So here's our project bin. Let me go ahead and what do you say we import some things? Trying to right click here. There we go. And I want to link to media. We have some aerial clips. We'll try to import, see how that works. We want these 3 aerial shots right there. Let's open those in. Unable to link. Okay, so let me close out of here and let me check on QuickTime. I know I had it installed, but I might need to reinstall it real quick here. Okay, so we installed QuickTime again. This time it looks like everything went fine. So let's go ahead and try this one more time. And here we are again. So let's go ahead and open up our new project. Go over here. And let's go ahead and link to some media if we can. Grab these shots here. Open. Now we're linking to them. Awesome. Let me see if I can actually drag this right in. There it is. Pretty cool. Now, obviously, I'm going to need to, kind of set this up in a manner that I'm more comfortable in working in. Timeline in our window here. See if it plays. Look at that. It's actually playing with AMA link. That's pretty cool. That is actually able to do that. Usually, I always transcode my media to a separate hard drive, not my C drive, of course. Pretty sure a lot of us do that. But this is, there's only one hard drive, obviously, and in a Surface. I guess we could do things like an external USB is, at least as long as it's in the dock, we have one USB port here, but with the dock we have like 5, 6 USB ports total with this one here. So that would be an option, although USB doesn't always, transfer rate's not always great. Sometimes it works. But yeah, that plays pretty cool. What about if I just click on one of these here? I'll double click, see if we can load it. Yeah, look at that. Play. There's no audio on these clips either. These are just stock shots. That's pretty cool. What if we do our timeline here? Yeah, it's not very. Let's use a pin here. Let's see if I can take the playhead. Yeah, look at that. I'm gonna take the playhead, move it around with the pin, take it to the end there. Let's cut this shot in here. Look at that. There we go. That shot cut in there. Pretty cool. Let's grab our other shot here. Yep, we can drag it in. Look at that. Pull it up here. Play. I'm actually really surprised at the responsiveness that this is giving me here on this surface. This video is really just, I just wanted to see if it was possible, of course. Let me do, make our tracks bigger here so I can actually see what's going on. Yeah, to the hamburger menu. Now, if you're just using the surface on just the surface, yes, I know it's hard for you to tell, but these icons are tiny. Again, that's why I have this monitor here so we can actually see what's going on. So you might be able to do some editing, Let's try a tool here. Yeah, look at that. When I take I'll use my pen. Hopefully you can see how it's changing. Our tools are changing here. So maybe I want to edit this back. Take this here, roll it forward. That is pretty cool. Pretty cool. I can do that with my finger. It's going to be a lot harder to be accurate, of course, with a finger, as we can see. Yeah. Probably not going to be able to do much editing with a finger. You could do basic things like move your clips around, but actual editing, that's pretty tough. I can't seem to get in the same area. Yeah, so as long as you have your Surface 3 pin, or if you're on a Surface Pro 4, you can actually do editing, while you're on the move. So that's pretty cool. So, of course, we don't have any effects actually installed other than the basic ones here, but let me just drag one on. All right, now play. Yep. Okay, well, this is really cool. That's really all for this video. I just wanted to see if it was possible. We'll have more stuff in the future. Man, that's really cool. Actually editing, at least hopefully editing, right here on a Microsoft Surface Pro 3, on a Microsoft Surface. If you have the Pro 4, this should be no problem for that either. Even the Pro 2 should work, just for fun. Let me grab all these here, and then we'll let me right click. And I want to see how about consolidation and transcode here. I want to transcode onto C here. Well, I guess I could do D, which is my SD card. That's fine. That's fine. Color encoding. And let's transcode. See how this does. So it'll take a couple minutes, of course. Okay, so those clips transcoded right here, they are. Now the fan is coming on my surface. Yep, let's go ahead and play. Yep, works just fine. We can cut that into our sequence. And go to the next clip. All right, really cool stuff. And of course we have our touch cover here, so we can do a bunch of keyboard shortcuts, of course, which I haven't got set up. But there's like a mark an in, there's mark an out, V there. Okay, so yeah, definitely this is definitely usable for doing some edits on the run, or maybe even as just a backup PC. To do some editing while your main PC is transcoding or something. I don't know. This is really cool. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't. We'll have many more videos, hopefully, many more videos about using Avid Media Composer on a Surface Pro. Once again, this is the Surface Pro 3 i5, 8 gig of RAM, and 256 gig SSD hard drive. That's Avid Media Composer actually running on a Surface Pro 3. Really cool.